Hello and welcome to today's video. My name is ArbieG and today we are back with the Mazda Beginners Series. We're into round 5, so we've only got 2 rounds left, and today I'm joined as ever by the lovely Roadrunner Dan. Dan, how you doing? Are you feeling sleepy today?
No, okay today, thanks a lot. Hello everyone,
Nice
good
and
to be
alert.
back.
He's with us today. He's promised to be a little bit more weight, but we're back. We're just going to quickly have a brush through the standings before we go to the race. So myself leading out, but only by a few points after a really bad round last week. Fraser in second place, 109, then followed by Barney, then Jay, then Dawes, then Sly, then Lewis, then Diva, then Bukta, then Arbie, then Mr. Navoli, then Drakel, then Hippie, then Mo, then Sylvester, then Doggers, then Cowboy, and then Mike. So a bit of a mixture there. Thought of just quickly burn through it there, just so we have a quick outlay of the situation in a minute. We've got a couple of tight areas, you know, pretty tight at the top, pretty tight for 4th place as well, pretty tight for 8th as well. So they've got a few little areas of competition opening up. So we're just going to skip straight through. First race, we're in Mazda Roadsters N200 for our 5th round. We're doing Autopolis short this time, so the short version of Autopolis. And we've run our quali. You can see Lewis managed to nab himself a pole position there. He's definitely got that pace. Lewis winning himself a lot of fastest laps through a lot of the previous races. Myself in second with Nick, new person joining us. Really enjoying racing with Nick at the minute, so he's joining us. And we've got Dawes and Barney, but Mike, and then Fraser out the back. So Fraser being kind of one of those front running rivals as well. So when it comes to this race, Dan, I don't know if you did any tests or practice on this one yourself. It's a really interesting race because you kind of really got 2 approaches, which is one on the soft tyres, super softs, and really go for it, and see if you can sort of go through on a 1-stop, or you know, quite a lot of fuel saving to go with a no stop. And both of them seem really well balanced out. What's it, Arbie looking up at the inside of Cowboy? But yeah, that's the race that we've got in front of here. A bit of a tactical race.
Yeah, good to see these tactical races coming back in. It's always tough to decide what do I want to do. Want to stop? No stop. It's can you?
Especially since the update as well.
Yeah,
they changed.
What's the pit stop like here? It's a horrible pit entry as well at Autopolis because it's a very good chicane. I know a few of the drivers who've hit it, and it's a lot of time lost if it goes wrong. So
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I noticed it was quite tight coming into it, and I don't think the pit time is too bad. But again, it's that 10-15 seconds they've added where you're kind of just staring, waiting for the car to come in.
They all get stopped at the weighbridge. That's my excuse. They're all getting stopped at the weighbridge.
So Fraser looking up on Cowboy here, pretty close up behind. Is he going to try and make a move up to 9th position? Fraser on a fuel saving run, I believe. You can see him on medium tyres there. So that's why we're seeing him at the back. So Lewis in at the back, certainly not out of this race at all by any means, running the no-stop strat. So it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds throughout the race. I believe Bukta Boy run the no-stop as well from the top of my head, but also we'll see if we can keep an eye on him in general in the race.
I think Fraser's feeling confident after the last round. 2 comfortable drives.
2 wins, yeah.
Out front.
2 wins back to back. He really had it at Hatch.
Using this confidence to go for the no-stop this week, I guess. Good to see.
Definitely. Well, you know, it's really mixed things up. Like I said, that update happening, and in general, obviously, the direction that the series has gone is more towards the strategy side of it as opposed to the pure racing side of it, which is obviously kind of what you want. You kind of want to get both sides of it. So you can see just in general on the track map at the top, you can see myself and Lewis kind of pulling away. Kind of had a gentleman's agreement with him, which we spoke about prior race in our practice, that if we find ourselves both of us at top, we kind of wouldn't make a move on each other for the first few laps and try and pull away a little bit. So I've purposely sat myself behind him and not made a move on him, even if he has missed a bit of an apex here and there. Just sat behind him, tried to do a little bit of fuel saving myself, so I can take him on the undercut, using a little less time.
So much so you've actually overtaken him.
Yeah, well, this is it. I think we started battling each other about lap 5 or 6, so we kind of gave ourselves a little bit of a pack, and then we kind of had a gentleman's agreement that once we were out and we agreed with each other that we'd, you know, start trying to race against each other. So you can see I got in front of Lewis, and Lewis is now, we're in lap 7. We've skipped forward a little bit in the race as well, just to bring us highlights. You can see Lewis going up on that inside there, getting that move done. I'm trying to get the cut back on him, pretty aggressive, but ultimately I think I pulled out of it because I thought if I pushed it any harder I would have sent him. But got on that inside. Lewis not giving up the ghost though, both giving each other plenty of room, so good to see. And he again nicks in front there and holds on to his first place, so nice battle. I remember enjoying this between me and him up top, so interesting fight unfolding there, and all the things in the back of my mind here was also what's going on with Fraser, with him and his no stop as well. So Nick still holding on to first place, leading out in front of Dawes and Barney just behind, so pretty close fight happening there.
Pretty close, but it's interesting to see how you try to move on to turn 1. Personally, I think turn 1 is a very quick corner and very hard to get it out on the inside, and it's very easy to push people off. So I personally try and wait for turn 2, which is a slightly heavier braking zone. If you can get clean, it's often a cleaner move there, in my opinion. So you're going into
Dan's top tip of the day.
Yeah,
so I've come in for the early pit there, so that's myself going in, Lewis going out for another one, and looks like most people are still staying out.
a lot more front tyre wear.
Yeah.
People as well.
Noticed people were really suffering on the tyre wear. Myself, I run the super softs, and yeah, they were pretty worn towards the end of the stint, but I think a bit of tyre wear, a bit of protection on your tyres goes a long way, but obviously I spent a lot of that in Lewis's slip. So
another Dan top tip then would be put the brake bars further back, protect, so they stop the fronts doing as much work, make the rears do
I
a
had my
bit
brake
more work.
bars on 4, so I had mine really at the rear to try and protect those front tyres, and I was finding as well I was getting a little bit more a time out the lap, so it was a win-win as far as I could see on the brake bias. So you can see we're coming around now, the laps are now going to be coming in, sorry, the pits are going to be coming in, not the laps. Nick's still holding on to second place, got Barney barreling down on this what's turned into a nice little fight now for what is looking like on the race maybe third or fourth place after pits are done. And obviously we've got Fraser to consider as well, who's at the moment at the back, but obviously when all these pits come through we should have a good idea how that strategy is serving him. Nick's now peeled off for his pit, as he's now come in. Long pit time that you've got to wait for. On board with Barney now, as he's now racing up top with Dawes. Both of these still yet to pit. Dawes just on the inside, Barney sitting on the outside. Barney's going to get a better exit here, but probably not enough to get past on the preceding straight. Fraser on that one stop, as most people are now sitting in the pit. Myself now coming through and looking like if I just get in front of Lewis there, yeah, the undercut seemed to serve me well and just brought me out in front of Lewis with a couple of seconds buffer. These guys are still scrapping out at top. A little bit of contact there, absolutely nothing in that. And Booked a Boy as well in the mix up top. So you can see a lot of the strategies are unfolding now, Dan.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for Fraser to hold you and Lewis back there on the super softs, considering he's on old mediums.
Yeah, when I come out, I think from what I remember on the race, he was about 7-8 seconds ahead, so I kind of had it in my head that I'd be able to possibly pull that one back.
You just need to go a second a lap quicker, which, considering you're on 2 compound softer, should be fairly doable.
So we'll see how it unfolds as Barney now and goes in as Mike does as well. Dawes still staying out. Look at those tyres, really worn.
With Booked a Boy as well.
Really, really worn. Bit of a fight going on back here as well. ArbieG's coming in and out. Got himself a fresh set. A real scrap here for 9th place with Cowboy, ArbieG and Sylvester. So these are our main 2 fights. We've kind of identified kind of maybe the fight really between that little pack at the top and this little pack at the back. Fraser out there as well, you know, keeping an eye on him in terms of his fuel saving. Got himself a bit of a gap, but you know, as Dan said, a little bit worn on his mediums. He can't push himself too hard, or else he's not going to have enough fuel to see the race fuel. But we're going to skip forward a little bit, come forward to the lap 11 now, on board with Cowboy. 9th place still with ArbieG and Sylvester in this little pack fighting for 9th place. And you can see the rest of the pack in terms of in the race have really spread themselves out now, Dan. And I don't know if you've seen as well, but and we'll probably skip to it in a mo, is we've we've really pulled up on Fraser as well. But wanted to keep with this little pack here, see how it unfolds coming through.
Yeah, I think the gap's a lot of it to do with the undercuts though. So you saw how powerful the undercut was with you and Lewis, and you were right behind each other. Then the others who went that extra couple of laps, I think, lost a bit too much time on those worn tyres.
Absolutely, I've always sort of tend to favour the undercut and go for it wherever I can. I don't know if there's never seen an undercut really pay off for someone on GT Sport. I know it can, but maybe it's just the level I personally drive at. But yeah, I always find the undercut, always 9 times out of 10.
It does work if you overcut onto a softer compound, I find. So if you can make, say, if you went from softs onto super softs and the other person stayed on softs, you made that your softs last longer, then it'd potentially work because you use the softer compound to catch back up.
So we're looking like we've got about 2 laps left, and now myself is called up on Fraser, and I remember thinking to myself I need to get the move done to not hold myself too much against Lewis. Kind of hoping in the back of my head as well that maybe Fraser would hold up Lewis a little bit, give me that little bit of breathing room to go ahead and get the win. Nick holding out pretty well there in 4th place. Going to be interesting to see if this little pack here can catch up to Fraser and grab himself another position. Jay not having a great race there, you can see him there obviously doing the great thing and just moving out of the way so the guys can come past. And we've got Bukta and Mike coming down now, followed by Dawes, and just behind them we've got our scrap going on for 9th place, where it looks like we've lost somebody. It looks like Cowboy's fallen off it a little bit out of that race, but we're going to keep an eye on that one. But now it's Lewis making a move up now on Fraser. Obviously not really much room for Fraser to defend, but it looks like Lewis is again going to get this move done nice and easily on there before he reaches the braking zone, and that sees Fraser sit in 3rd place. We're going to skip forward now a little bit more. Fraser still in 3rd place, but now he's got a bit of pressure being applied from Barney and Nick. Is he going to be able to hold it to the end of this race? See here, this is the time of the race where I think if you want to go for ultra defensive, now's the time to do it. Barney giving Fraser a little knock through there. J-Lad looks like almost lost it behind him. So we've still got the scrap here. You can see on the track map as well, we've still got that fight for 9th. Well, we did just have that fight for 9th, but it looks like it's just been separated there as someone looks like they've run out of fuel at the back there. We'll soon know who that is. I think that might be Dawes. Might have run out of fuel. Looks like we've got a good fight. Fraser's still holding on. To come now is myself and Lewis come over the line, and we're going to keep an eye on these guys here. Barney's gaining, and I think he's just pinched it on the line. Well done, Barney, there. So Barney 3rd, Fraser 4th, Nick 5th, Bukta 6th, Mike coming in at 7th, followed by, it wasn't Dawes, sorry, ran out of fuel. Dawes at 8th. Then we got Sylvester, managed to win the battle for 9th, so well done.
Arbie ran out of fuel then.
It was ArbieG, yeah. I saw it was someone who was in that battle for 9th, just dropped off as I was looking at the radar at the top. Cowboy coming in with 10th position, and Diva with a P11. I think I'm right. Mr. Navoli was a lap behind, as was J-Lad, so they kind of already finished in 13th, 14th for the lap prior. And Diva, it looks like ArbieG, as we said. Yeah, run out of fuel.
He's out of fuel
really early in this lap. Yeah,
like at 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, looks like he ran out of fuel coming out of turn 1, so not managed to fuel well there, or might have thought the race was 1 lap shorter than what it actually was. You know, so
easily done though. You do a practice race and you run 14 laps. You get to the race and it's a little bit quicker, and you go, oh dear.
Yeah. So that's our finished results there, so we're just going to quickly run through. So it's myself in front with Lewis in 2nd, Barney in 3rd, Fraser in 4th, Nick in 5th, Bukta in 6th, Mike in 7th, Dawes in 8th, Sylvester in 9th, Cowboy in 10th, Diva 11th, ArbieG 12th, Navoli 13th, and J-Lad in 14th. So thoughts on the race overall, Dan?
Very interesting. I think it was a great effort from Fraser, 4th place, even though he lost it on the line. I think he deserved that podium. Nick, who I've not seen much, looks to have done a good race as well. He seemed fairly quick.
Holding his place, yeah, definitely up there with the top enders in terms of pace in this series. But we're going to start off now. Race 2. Race 2's reverse grid. on the results of the first race. So that sees J-Lad and Navoli out top with Arbie. Really good opportunity for Arbie here. Arbie's definitely got the pace, but sometimes maybe just, we saw him with the issues he had with fuel in the last race, but maybe sometimes suffers a little bit with consistency.
There's a good chance for the top 3. J-Lad's fairly quick, Navoli's quick as well. So I think it would be a good
All
battle
of them
between
can
them
turn it
two.
in. All of them can turn it in, so it'll be interesting to see as they turn out. Just sort of flick back through here, watch people as they come through turn 1. And interesting little tidbit insider information is so the guys at the back, myself again going for the fast run on the supers again, but this time we've got both Fraser and Lewis doing the fuel saving strategy, so it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds in this race. How do you see that it being different now we're running from the back as opposed to front?
I see that as a good tactic personally. I think it's because you're not then having to fight through as many people, so the race will be, I reckon it'll be slightly slower than the first one, when the fast guys out front are just going for it. Now you're sort of sitting back and having to make moves, so maybe going for the long run might pay off on this one.
See, that this is what I thought as well, but unfortunately I hadn't really prepped like the fuel saving strategy. I didn't want to just to guess it and run out of fuel. I hadn't really practiced it, so I kind of had no choice myself personally for the super soft run. But we got a little bit of rear end loss there from I think, was it Sylvester lost the rear end a little bit, or was it Mike?
It was Cowboy. It all looks so similar between them, with all the grey cars and black lines on the back.
Come on, boys, you can do better than this.
Maybe they're one big team. All teammates.
Yeah, I think they are. They're all friends. I think that's why they all run similar cars, but it doesn't really help us out as commentators, really, does it, Dan?
No.
Cowboy getting a better exit there from Diva, making a move, moving himself up to 4th place, so lovely move there from Cowboy. J-Lad still doing as what we thought he would do, Dan, as you called it, holding out 1st place. The thing I like about J-Lad when I watch him, like, he'll put his hands up and probably say he's definitely, not the fastest ever person who's ever got in a car, but he is consistent. He'll put in those lap times and he'll find his stride, and he's and that makes it hard to get past. Whereas when you got someone inconsistent, coming up behind someone, when I come up behind someone, when I think of them as inconsistent, I don't really have to do much other than wait until they do something wrong. Whereas Jay, I have to earn it.
Yeah, and
does that make sense?
Part of racing, though. It's the better or the higher up you go, the more consistent people are. The harder it is to force a mistake. The more you need to work for your overtake. So it's good to see that it's also at this level. I know these are the rookie. This is the rookie / beginner series, as we call it. But there are still some good drivers down here. And makes you earn your moves.
I think the term a beginner is only the title of the league, and that's as far as it goes. So there's some really good drivers in here. We've got Sylvester doing well, holding on to his 6th place. Nick as well. One of the guys who I'd say is probably one of the faster guys out there today. Be interesting to see how he progresses through the pack if he tries to push himself up. You can see the 2 fuel savers starting to tail off at the back as well there on the track map. But we are actually going to skip forward just a little bit to lap 3 now, as we come through to actually into lap 4. J-Lad making it count at the top as Arbie's actually pulled up a little bit of ground on Mr. Navoli. He's going to try and make a move himself now, see if he can make an improvement. He's gone up on that inside, and it looks like he's just had to pull himself out of it there, and has actually made him suffer as he gets a really bad exit. And Diva has actually lost it there. Sylvester did really well to avoid that as well, so well done from him. But Diva, it's hard to see that, isn't it, sometimes when you see someone lose it.
Yeah, it's a shame. He was doing so well as well up in 5th place, I think it was, consistently. And
bit of side on side there between Nick and Dawes, but I think that might be a little bit of a connection thing. You can see Nick doing the old ping shimmy, where he might not be completely in control from a lag point of view.
You got people from all over the world, so you got English Americans.
A lot of our hosts are UK based, aren't they? So I imagine when we do get those people coming from New Zealand and further regions, it can be a bit of an issue. But I think in general, most people get good connections. Arbie trying to fight back after his error on the last lap, moving up on Cowboy, taking that inside line.
It's good to see Arbie back out of it though, because earlier on in the series you've seen him make a couple of incidents potentially.
Yeah.
But he's not backed out, so it's good to see his improvement as a driver to go, oh, I'm making a mistake here and back out of it. Well done, Arbie. On that.
Yeah. And looks like someone lost it behind Sylvester. Running wide on turn 1. That's unfortunate to see as well. He's running a good race for himself. Good scrap here in the middle. Still between Dawes and Nick. Mike getting involved in that as well now, as they've pulled that up. But like I said, if I was Dawes, I'd be sweating now. Honestly.
Just surrounded by the silver cars.
Yeah. Again, just with a little bit of shimmy from Nick makes it a little bit wary going side by side, but we've certainly seen a lot worse in terms of lag when people look like they've gone flying off the track and then they suddenly reappear on the track. It's terrifying.
Lightning speed all of a sudden with the matter.
Cowboy losing his rear end there. We've actually skipped forward a little bit, lap 10 now. And Captain Wonderful's already gone through.
I'm surprised you're not further up though, because I think you needed, like, potentially from yourself, I think the gap to the guys behind is too small. Because I think you've got to pick.
I was really fortunate by a lot of the overtakes I got on the undercut again. So I kind of went in behind this pack here and come out in front of them after pits. So that kind of helped me in terms of making sure I wasn't falling off pace. But yeah, it did surprise me how long it took me to get up. So again, I remember when I was coming out, I was about 15 seconds behind Lewis and Fraser at the time. So we'll see how that unfolds. But we've still got a tight race as well elsewhere. There's Lewis and Fraser there, the Fuel Saver brothers. See them working together, using slip on each other to... And actually, Fraser looked like he was thinking about it there, but ultimately didn't go for anything. Yeah.
Dr. Boy doing well though, 11 laps so far.
Well, Bupta Boy as well, who completely surprised us all because none of us actually knew he was on a one-stop. I mean, he was on a no-stop. So
he's on a no-stop?
He's on no-stop, so yeah.
You've got a chance here then.
Yeah.
Oh,
so Bupta Boy come out of nowhere with that one, where a lot of us just assumed he was on the one-stop and we were waiting for him to pit. And obviously that never happened. So it'll be interesting to see how that factors into everything. So we've booked the boy first, Lewis second, Fraser third, J-Lad fourth, myself fifth. It's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds. Going to stick on board with these two here as they look like they're starting to try and race each other a little bit now, jostling for position. Lewis slipping on the inside there. Fraser looking to get the exit. Speed on him. Looks like he had it, but Lewis just closed the door. Fraser now sitting in the slip.
Do you think they could catch Butcher Boy if they don't fight, or do you think it's Butcher Boy's got enough of a lead with fight to go?
He seems to be
they work together
more effectively than the other two, so I'd say they're fighting for second place at the moment, but I think they've also got to consider as well what's going on behind them. I know they've got a bit of a gap, and we've only got about 3 laps left or so. So you'd think you're pretty safe from behind in this race, looking at the gap they've got. And we've still got a nice scrap going down here for 6th and 10th really, are kind of our 2 main fights unfolding. He's probably a little bit disappointed where he is overall in the race. Probably he had a couple of slips, but still out there fighting, see if he can get in front of Dawes. Lewis and Fraser, again, still close to each other in this race, running that fuel saving strap, both on the medium tyres. Lewis catching a little bit there, meaning he doesn't get great exit speed. Fraser looked like he was going to try and make a move, but pulled out of it. And again, not too much in it between these two, but these two really scrapping it out now. But the boy's still leading out well in front. And you can say, still see not much change in position-wise, but people still keep close to each other as these two. Again, seeing what they can do to get themselves into second position. Lewis looked like he thought about going up the inside, changed his mind, trying to get a better exit again.
Good battle though between those two. I'm enjoying this.
Really good to watch and unfold. These guys now coming through again. Skip forward again. No, not skip forward. Sorry, skip over back to Lewis. He's again got that move done. So a lot of to and fro between these guys. Looks like Lewis has really got it in this mid part, this technical part of the track, whereas looks like Fraser's getting a better exit out of that final corner. Just kind of making these two kind of overtake each other every half lap. So exciting to watch though.
They're just using the slipstream. It's quite a long straight into turn 2, and I think Fraser gets past on main straight. Lewis gets past on the second straight. So it's great to see.
We've got Arbie now. We're following. Again, there's just a little gap. Everyone's quite well spread outside of these two, the only main battle that's going on. But myself not too far away from it as well. That 15-second gap is really ground down. J-Lad holding on in 5th position. Be a good result if you can keep on to that 5th. As we come through, and again these two side by side. Fraser just in front, Lewis slipping in just behind him again. Getting a better apex though, so again he's probably going to try and make a move. It's a tricky one from them too, because I remember at the time, this is from my own point of view, that I saw them start fighting each other and I started to rub my hands together, because I was like, look, if I go for it now, it's going to afford me a chance to pull up to him, and you know, got a lap and a half left and I'm now up behind Lewis and now it's a pack of 3.
I hope you're rubbing your hands down the straight and not into a corner, because otherwise you're going straight on.
Dan, you know exactly where I rub my hands. And we're going to follow Lewis now, has got J-Lad just behind as well, so a bit of a scrap, you know, fights here for 3rd. I've gone to make that move.
Around the
Lewis
outside.
Gone round the outside. Little side on side, but looks like I get through just because Lewis just doesn't have the tyres and doesn't have the gear range that I'd probably have as well. The flexibility to push it. J-Lad running quite low on fuel, but he looks like he should have enough. His doors... It looks like J-Lad purposely gave him the position there, so there must have been a bit of argy-bargy. You saw Jay just come off the accelerator there and actually give the position to Dawes, so didn't actually catch why he did that, but good to see as well done.
Interesting one. I'm not sure what happened there. I think he's very low on fuel because he's struggling for power by the looks of it. Although he's lifting, maybe he's lifting and coasting into the corner, but also letting
into the last lap now. Bupta Boy's got this one in the bag. I don't think there's any qualms like that. A fantastic run from him, especially like I said, none of us really expected him to do the no stop and to do it that far ahead. So really well done from him. Got Dawes now caught up with Lewis as well, as Lewis is running low on fuel. Fraser, you can see a whisker of fuel, so 2 little fights between myself and Fraser, Lewis and Dawes, as we now come up to the final turn. Bupta Boy coming to the final straight as well, myself trying to get up on that inside but not getting the exit. Bupta confirming his 1st place, and I think Fraser ran out of fuel just at the end.
That's so
I managed to pip it
as well.
But look, Lewis really dropped off as well at the back there, finishing in 5th. All coming over the line now. We'll check the results in a moment, because quite honestly I lost it a bit there, missing the
He dropped off a little bit as well, which is a shame to see.
Oh, that's a real shame to see. It must have been a fuel thing.
Yeah.
Like you were saying. Sylvester in 12th and Cowboy and Diva, a little scrap at the back here for 13th. And it looks like Cowboy's just going to pinch it. 13th place. So, yeah, really, really exciting one at the end there. Last lap, a lot of stuff happening. But our final results are Bupta Boy finishing in 1st place. And well done to him there. ArbieG, myself in 2nd place. Then Fraser in 3rd. Dawes in 4th. Lewis 5th. Arbie 6th. Nick in 7th. Big Boy Barney in 8th. Jay in 9th. Mike in 10th. Navoli in 11th. Sylvester in 12th. Cowboy in 13th. And Diva in 14th. So, any huge thoughts on that one? Any immediate ones?
Great drive from Bupta Boy, and then Arbie correcting his mistake after the 1st race. We saw him was lower down mid-race and just saved his fuel and came up into 6th, so good drive from him. But that was a really entertaining race. That battle between Fraser and Lewis going on all race, and then you coming and stealing both. Both are there. basically.
and stealing it from Lewis on the
And
sorry, stealing
people
it from
running out
Fraser
of
on the
fuel
line.
towards the end. Great race.
That's got to be heartbreaking for him, especially with me and him being at the top of the thing. Could have just given that extra point sway, you know. But this is how the standings stand after that race. So myself, giving myself a little bit more comfortable gap at the top, 144. Fraser 8 points behind with 136. Then Barney with 127. Lewis really climbing his way up because he only joined us in round 2, so he hasn't done every round. Now finds himself 4th place, 106. Can he pull it up for the last round and maybe grab himself a podium? Dawes 5th place. Then we're followed by J-Lad. Then in 8th place we've got Bukta. 9th place Diva. Arbie in 10th. Navoli in 11th. Drakel in 12th. Sylvester in 13th. Hippie in 14th. Mike 15th. Mo 16th. Nick in 17th, Cowboy in 18th, and Doggers down in 19th. So a few of them have attended a few races, and a few of them have been there for the entire thing, and a few of them are new starters. So got a bit of a mixed board there, but it'll be really interesting to see how this really unfolds going into the final round, Dan.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next week's.
Yeah, that's it from me. I just got to make sure that I don't bottle it, really, from my point of view.
Pressure's on you. Fraser's got everything. Has to just go for it next week. Nothing to lose.
He needs to recruit a Lewis to a dive bomb me in the corner. That'll do me. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much, Dan, for joining us, and thanks for everyone for watching as well. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're interested in taking part in ART races, we should have new leagues starting up soon in the next couple of weeks. So feel free to take part. We've got a link in the Discord below, so head on through and take part. People of all skill levels, as you see. We do rookies, intermediates, and some more advanced leagues as well, so hop in and have a look around. But that's it for today's video. We'll see you guys for the next round, which is the last round we'll actually put out in the next few days, and we'll hope you see you soon. I don't know what I did at the end there. Bye.